haven't seen our previous videos, we just traveled using public transportation in Georgia from a very small rural village to the beautiful city of Batumi. That was a very interesting journey, so check that out if you haven't seen it yet. But for today's video, we will be exploring the beautiful city of Batumi. Now, when we were doing some research for this place, there are so many things to do here. So we had the idea to head out for the day and see just how much we can do in one day and how far we can get.
So, full disclosure, it is already 12 o'clock, and for some reason, whenever we have a filming day, we cannot start filming before 12 o'clock. We have something pretty cool that we want to get to at 7 o'clock, so we got 7 hours on the clock starting now.
Let's go! We've just come from our room in this building right here, and this is the beautiful park that we've been looking out on as our view for the last few days. There are a couple other beautiful parks throughout Batumi, and they're always full of people enjoying the space.
And another cool thing that we can see from our balcony and that we use almost every single day is the Batumi Boulevard. It was built in 1881 and stretches for 7 kilometers, running from one side of Batumi to the other. It basically acts as the highway for pedestrians of Batumi. Along it, we can also find most of the things that we want to see and do today.
There are so many street dogs. Even in Tbilisi, now in Batumi as well, we've noticed how there are just street dogs everywhere. But you can see that they're really well taken care of. Most of them have tags on their ears, and it's actually a government-funded thing that they're taking care of. You can see little bowls of food left out for them throughout the city sometimes, and little dog houses in certain places. We thought it'd be pretty fun to try and count the amount of dogs that we see today.
Notice about this boulevard is that you have these crazy hyper-modern hotels, and literally right next door to it have these old school Soviet-style blocks of flats. And from my very limited experience, it's quite sad to think that the big hotel groups are most likely putting a lot of pressure onto these smaller blocks of flats just to demolish them so that guests can have a better view.
So I'm sure you can see the white decorations on top of these roofs. These are actually something called Khinkali, which is a traditional Georgian dumpling, and they are delicious. Literally every time we think about these, we get hungry. So we're gonna go find a restaurant that's a little bit off the beaten track, and I'm sure you can guess what we'll be ordering. Probably here, it's a bit rowdy in here. There is literally construction happening right next door. We are in the middle of the bustling city of Batumi, and it's been quite an experience so far. We've just arrived at the restaurant. We've ordered our Khinkali and some beers, and we are pretty excited to sit down and eat those. The restaurant owner was so excited to see us. He literally ran to us with a big smile on his face when he saw us coming to his restaurant. There really aren't a lot of tourists in Batumi or in Georgia at the moment, so anyone and everyone is really excited to see people touring the country.
Well, that food was delicious. Time to head back to the boulevard. So we're back on the boulevard.
A really cool thing about this city is that you've got the Black Sea on the one side, and then you've got beautiful mountain ranges on the other side, and literally mountains as far as the eye can see, hugging the coastline. It kind of reminds us of Cape Town in South Africa, except the mountains here have snow on them. It's a bit strange to be looking at snowy mountains whilst feeling so warm. And speaking of feeling warm, I'm pretty sure a couple of you guys can hardly recognize us in these summer clothes, but we are loving the warm weather in Batumi so far.
We are deviating again off of the boulevard to show you one of the most unique buildings that we have ever seen, and you'll never guess what it is.
This is a pretty solid nap. This guy hasn't even noticed that I'm here yet. Literally a McDonald's. We know. We can't understand why it's such a fancy building either. But anyway, enough distractions. Let's get back to the boulevard. We've just arrived in the beautiful Japanese gardens, but before we head off to our last few sites for the day, we wanted to give you guys an update on us.
So shortly after arriving in Batumi, we're talking like 10 minutes now. We both just had this feeling of this place is amazing and we want to try to stay here for as long as we can. So we quickly put our two heads together and we just started scheming and brainstorming different ways of allowing us to stay in Batumi for as long as what we can.
So some of you may know that I taught English online before leaving on our travels, and I actually intended to carry on doing that throughout our travels, but unfortunately the Wi-Fi's at our different workaways were never strong enough to support teaching online. Luckily, our accommodation here in Batumi has incredibly fast Wi-Fi and it works perfectly for teaching online. So I've been doing a lot of that in the last week, and that is helping us to cover our living expenses for staying in Batumi. We're hoping to stay here for about a week or two before heading off to the next place we want to visit in Georgia.
Alright, but it is 5:30 now. We've still got an hour and a half left and we've got a couple of more things that we want to do before heading back for the evening. So that drone shot that you would have seen at the beginning of the video, I just want to tell you how scary that was. First of all, we are staying within 2 kilometers of an airport, so we first had to apply for clearance to be able to take off. And then secondly, we have never flown off a balcony before. Not just any balcony, but we are staying on the 17th floor. So the entire time of that flight, my hands and my fingers were just going like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And as soon as we got the drone back, I just felt like my nerves were shot, and like that was enough excitement for me for the day. But interestingly enough, on the day of recording this, it's actually my mom's birthday.
And tomorrow is my dad's birthday.
So happy birthday.
Have a wonderful day.
Hope that you have a wonderful day.
earlier about how there are these hyper modern hotels in Batumi. Well, this building behind me right here is the Batumi Tower. It was originally built as a government building and later turned into a hotel, and it's so fancy. There's literally a Ferris wheel on the outside of the building all the way up there. Marek?
So this tower behind us is called the Alphabetic Tower, and as you can see there's a silver spiral that runs all the way up the tower, and it is actually covered in the entire Georgian alphabet. So what's pretty unique about the Georgian language and why Georgian people are so proud of their language is that they were literally fighting for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years to keep their language. And it's actually pretty unique in the sense that it is actually one of the 10 oldest languages in the world that are still spoken.
Okay, so we know this building doesn't look the best out of all the ones we've shown you, but it has a really cool concept behind it.
This is called the Cha-Cha Tower. Now for those of you who don't know what Cha-Cha is basically an extremely hard Georgian liquor that ranges anywhere from 50 to 70+% alcohol wise. Now the idea behind the Cha-Cha Tower is that for 10 minutes once a week, Cha-Cha flows freely from one of the 4 fountains that are situated around the tower. Now unfortunately we don't know what day or what time this happens each week,
but believe me, if we did know, we'd be here.
So unfortunately we won't be able to have Cha-Cha today. Of course we were going to get some Cha-Cha.
Cheers. Wow. So now we are on our way to our last activity for the day. I have no idea what this is. Marek just said that it was at 7 o'clock and it was pretty cool. So let's see what it is. So that was really cool to see. This statue is all about a love story between a guy named Ali and a girl named Nina. The basic meaning behind the statue is how they become one without touching, and it's kind of like a Georgian Romeo and Juliet.
So it is 7 o'clock and that was our original cutoff for the day. The sun's going to be going down very soon and we want to take you with us and show you the best place to watch the sunset in Batumi. And remember how we mentioned in a previous video that we found our new favorite way to explore and see cities that we are visiting? Well, luckily here in Batumi you can rent scooters as well. So it's time to go and rent a scooter and head on out to that next sunset spot.
No! You better come back for me. Ah, okay. Ah. Got it!
Ready?
Let's go!
So honestly, we have found that the best place to watch a sunset is right on our very own balcony. And there seems to be a bit of clouds about, so clouds plus sunset equals a very good show. Now we realize that we actually haven't told you about where we're staying yet. So we are staying in an apartment that is literally overlooking the beach, as well as this amazing park right behind us for just 13 euros a night. And honestly, when you go onto Airbnb and you look for accommodation, this apartment is on the lower end of the pricing scale. So to think that we get all of this for just 13 euros a night is just ridiculous.
We hope you enjoyed this first taste of Batumi. This video was kind of an overview of the city to give you a bit of a feel for what it's like here and just how much there is to do here. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up. It really helps our channel out a lot. Like we said earlier, we have a couple other things that we want to do here that are really cool and interesting and unique, and of course we'll be making videos about those, so subscribe if you haven't already and stay tuned for those videos to come in the next couple of weeks. Comment down below what you think about Batumi and if this is a city you would want to visit one day. Thank you again for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll see you guys back this coming Tuesday.
Дорогие друзья, мы приглашаем вас на интереснейшую получасовую прогулку на нашей яхте «Океанус».